Hey Nick, how you doing? Yeah, not much. We're going to be closing in about 35 minutes. Hey Mark. Yeah, sometimes I don't know why, but like with this Windows 10, be sitting here watching the chat, and then it'll bring up external drives I have, like K and E, and then I'll X amount, and then I'll go to like maybe make a video to upload, and it won't let me copy and paste right. The only way around it is restarting it. So that's what I did, but it was acting a little weird anyway. I think this live chat program like hangs up stuff. I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, I think it's that Windows 10, man. I don't know why, what it does. I mean, I never had that happen with any of the other Windows programs. Hey, Nick, how you doing? Hey, Catherine. Weird. It's already like 2 degrees here, so it's going to be a cold one tonight. I know last night was record cold, -10. Wow. I'm thinking of coming down there Wednesday, Mark. All right, 2 degrees. Yeah, that's what I have, Catherine. We're really kind of, I think, about the same latitude. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm still debating. It's going to be bitter cold. It doesn't make any sense because I would like to interview some people, but when it's that cold out, nobody wants to pull over, nobody wants to stand out. It doesn't take long to be freezing your ass off when you're not moving in 10-degree days. Oh, is it going to be cold all week? Yeah, I probably won't then. That lone wolf sure seems like a sweetheart. You know, she's an ex-prostitute. She's come a long way. I mean, just a quality person. Yeah, she really is. Yeah, that's exactly right, Mark. Nick, what happened is, I've always fooled around with cameras since I was a kid. And then I did I did all the national parks in the winter with large format, black and white. I used to really be into photography. I never really liked color photography. I tried like doing models in Chicago. I didn't like it. Then I just started like going around, like just snapping things left and right instead of setting up for the perfect picture. And I found it was a lot more fun. I'd take 10,000-mile road trips. Then I got bored with still photography, and then video was getting more popular, and the cameras were getting so much better. And then I thought, well, I'll try video. And then YouTube came out, and I heard about it, and I just kind of started a channel in 2007, but I really didn't do much. Then I just was using it to log like my own interests, wildlife, birds, places I'd go, Florida, places I go to eat, that kind of thing. And then I thought one day I would run into the girls down in Detroit when I'd be buying a paper, getting a coffee. And I thought it'd be really interesting to, interview them. And like I've said before, if it wasn't for those women in Detroit, you wouldn't even be talking to me now. I had zero channel until one of those took off. I went from about 100 subscribers to 200 after about 4 years, 5 years to 500, then to 1,000, then to 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. Totally because of the women I interviewed. That's it. So I owe them a lot. And that's why I try to pay them back as best I can. Nobody would know about my channel without the Penny, Angel, Wendy, Marguerite, Cassie. I guarantee, I'm 100% positive about that. And I've taken down quite a few of them too. The family wanted me to take them down, or the girls did well and got in rehab and they got a new life. They don't want to be looking at that video. It's funny how people view their own videos. Oh yeah. And I've always driven around like a nut since a teenager. I mean, if there was a reason to go anywhere, I'm all for it. Yeah, and a lot of them do, Nick. It's not all like that. I would say for every woman I ask about an interview, 1 out of 5 agree to it. They just blow me off left and right. And I can honestly say they all seem to have a higher order in doing a video. Like, they all are very adamant that they hope it could change the life of someone considering drugs or whatever. I mean, they really have all altruistic goals in mind. They're very good people. I mean, they got a lot going on. They're in the constant flight mode all the time. Yeah, people say that, Nick, but I guess I've always been like that. I don't really think too much of it. I enjoy it. Yeah, drug issues. I really like to get Calvin Murray on an interview. You guys will love him. He's a guy with a long, intelligent, informative post regarding videos. Great guy. Yeah, that would be interesting, Kara. Sure would. Everybody's got an interesting story. It's just, life deals people different cards. But when you see these young, pretty girls homeless walking down a dark Detroit freeway service drive at night. It doesn't get any worse than that. No, I don't. I've had a gun permit before, but I don't. I figured, hell, if they shoot me, it'd be doing me a favor. They never know. They never know what I'm there for either. You know what I mean? Most hassle I've gotten is from cops. Not that much, but I've had some run-ins where those cops have really hassled me. They were just like looking for any reason to like kick my ass, talk down to me. I've had Border Patrol pull me over, Customs, Homeland Security. Yeah, I've had some real run-ins with some asshole cops. Detroit cops, you better believe it. Yeah, Detroit PD, yep. I mean, there are cops out there. I've had them hassle me before. They think I'm, robbing houses or something. And I've really thought to myself before, I think these cops will murder me if they could. I just get that vibe, like they're going to say that I'm reached in my pocket or something. I'm not kidding. I've had them pull right up to next to me when I have my windows down at the foot of Dearborn Avenue. Pull right up and said, "Hey, you stupid motherfucker, what are you doing here?" It's like, well, I'm just doing some video and, reading the paper. It's like, reading the paper for what? It's like, well, I'm just reading the paper. He said, "Where are you from?" I said, "West Branch." He said, "Why don't you get the fuck out of here and go read the paper in West Branch then? Do you have anything better to do?" Seriously, a cop. No, never a pimp. Most of those girls I said they didn't have pimps, and I believe it. It's also how they end up getting murdered. No safety net. That's why escorts have drivers. Part of the reason is they need a ride, right? The second reason is security. The driver knows where he dropped the girl off, and he knows he's got to pick her up in an hour. And when she doesn't come out, that's a lot of information to give the cops. The address, the time. Hey, Deb. But of all the hours I've been down there, not bad. I'd say 0.5% of the time. It's not like a regular occurrence. I have had the cops try and catch me in those buildings before. Community hospital down there in Southwest Detroit, near Michigan and 12th, and I had them try and catch me in the Fisher building before. But I never park right next to the building. You're a dead duck. I always park about a mile away. For a while, there was a Wayne State cop that was going up to the Packard building, going in there trying to catch people all the time and writing them tickets. Yeah, the days of running around inside those vacant buildings are over. Part of it is, the Detroit school police are deputized. So all they do is go around, arresting people on private property and inside buildings. And it's a misdemeanor to be in an unoccupied building without permission. And when I say without permission, you better have a note in your pocket by the owner or you're getting a ticket. I'll tell you where they're the worst. That old psychiatric hospital in Northville. They must have motion detectors there. I don't know of anybody that went back there that didn't get arrested. That was exciting, Catherine. Need to jack up that serotonin, get that adrenaline flowing. You know, people think it's dangerous that, you know, you go in these buildings. Not really. First of all, everything that was going to be stolen is already gone. Motors, metal, brackets. It's too big to like heat if it's the winter, if you're cold and you're homeless. There's no reason anyone would go in there because they don't think anybody's there. I'm telling you, if you look at some of my earlier videos when I was in the top of those abandoned factories, it was the most beautiful, peaceful, serene sight I've ever seen in my life. And not only that, when you're up there and you're in the inside looking out, you can hear a pin drop. You can hear anybody coming down the hall, walking up the stairs, the whole bit. And when I would go in there, I would use a really narrow beam pen light and keep it low to the floor. Because even if someone's ever driving up 75 or 375 north before you turn west on 94, if you look at that old Fisher body plant, you could see somebody easily in there with a flashlight. Yeah, silence. It's really neat. I never saw rats. Rats aren't going to be in there. There's nothing to eat. I mean, it's really not at all what you would expect it to be. The only one thing that you really got to watch out for, and this happens every year, is the floors and the ceilings are the same color, that light concrete gray. And a lot of motors have been stripped out, big electrical motors over the years. So if you're not really watching, it's easy to step through one of those holes. And there's some elevator shafts where the doors are missing, but you know, I always was really careful about that. It's funny, you can see those spots in the darkness easier than you can in the light. They show up better with a flashlight. The only time I ever ran into somebody was one time. There's some heavy duty rappers. It's kind of a producer with some rappers. Look them up sometime on YouTube. K-Free, K-F-R-E-E. They're fantastic rappers. I mean, they should be famous, but they're not. I think they work in car washes. You want to go go pee-pee? We'll go pee-pee? We'll go pee-pee? Yeah, it's some heavy duty rappers. Check it out, K-Free. Letter K and then free, F-R-E-E. Oh yeah, I believe that, Deb. I never saw anything like that. I found a box of dead kittens one time underneath the Rouge Bridge. I don't know what the deal was with that. Yeah, I believe that, Debbie. I don't believe in any of that haunted stuff. Shit, I think I'd have seen it by now. You go back under the Rouge Bridge, that just looks like a poster for a place where you dump dead bodies. Little pee-pee? Little pee-pee? Good girl. Yeah, everybody said that's actually a tool rental business. Hey, are you kidding me, Care Hub? No kidding. Wow.
You've got mail.
Wow. Hey, Catherine, did you ever get the details on that? Camp Timbers at Clear Lake. Yeah, Clear Lake Bar. That's where people go and get pizza. Just some guy. Wow. Hey, Paper Tiger. It's a good name. Oh, West Branch, Michigan, Paper Tiger. Oh, wow. No kidding, huh, Mike? Yeah, you're right, Paper Tiger. That's the truth. It's funny how doors open and close for people. Just one little thing can send someone the wrong way or the right way, and you don't know it at the time. You know what I've always thought of? Like, you never know when the last time for something's going to be. I mean, you kind of do in certain things, like the last day before you go on vacation, stuff like that. But but like, you know, the last time you'll see some people, or the last time you'll go out in a boat, or the last time, you know, it's just, you never know when the last time's coming. It's just kind of subtle and vague, and it's one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, and then something's happened and you never see him again, or it again. Oh yeah, the user, that's a scary life. Circle of life, yep. So I guess the irony to me is, like, you know, these women that I interview, and then you have the Kardashians. It's like, it just doesn't make sense. Yep, full spectrum. You got that right. No. Paper Tiger, how long you been out there in Boston?
Words fail me.
See, that stupid Cortana just popped up on my Windows 10. The goddamn government listening to me. Yeah, I'm ready for warm weather. You better believe it. Big time. Hey, Paper Tiger, did you graduate from UCLA? What degree? What degree, Jake, were you able to get, Paper Tiger? Oh, okay. Did you go to high school in California as well? Oh, okay. Would you get a scholarship out there or something? Oh, that's cool. You know, the guy that invented Adobe had an airplane next to me in Ann Arbor. The guy that invented Adobe. No shit. Yeah, that'd be cool, Paper Tiger. Canada is south of Michigan. Ontario is. Windsor, Ontario, south of Detroit. No, I can remember Time magazine having that real cute Afghan lady with the green eyes a long time ago. Then they did follow-up stories. But I know they have a difficult time. That's a Jeopardy question, Mark. What country south of Detroit? You won't believe the people that get it wrong. I've heard it asked like 4 times. Yeah, I'll run down. Yep, that's right. Good girl. What do you want, Helen? What do you want, huh? Huh? Come here. Come on. Come on. You going up here? Huh? You bored? Are you getting bored? Huh? Are you getting bored, Bobby? Huh? Gotcha. I got you, Nona. Huh? No, I'm just not talking. Good, that's a good girl. That's a good Daisy. Oh, good girl. Oh, congratulations, Nick. Good girl. Good for you. Okay. Bring it down. Quite a bit. What do you want, huh? What do you want, huh? What do you want? 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 You want to go out? You want to go out? You want to go outside?
You've got mail.
Hey, it's okay. Quiet, hon. Quiet. Quiet, hon. Good girl. Hey, Tim. I just got a email from YouTube. They give you this big spreadsheet about people that are using my videos. There were like 10 of them. And they show you like how much of their video is mine, like 10%, 30%, 100%. And then they have you fill out these forms, and they give them like one shot at taking it off. And if they give them a strike. And if they get 3 strikes, they cancel their channel. It's about time they crack down on that. I see they had, there were like 10 of my videos up. Before you could complain about it and YouTube wouldn't do anything, but it's nice to know they've gotten better, or at least they're checking on it. What they'll do is there are people that will do compilations. You've probably noticed it when you watch YouTube videos. They'll go steal videos from 4 different places and then make a compilation. It's harder to catch because it's 4 videos made into one, but they've got new software that's catching all this stuff. Yeah, thanks, Ida Lowell. Thank you. So it's good that YouTube's checking that stuff out and policing it a little bit, I think. Yeah, like 10 different places, 10 different channels, and then making them their own video. Isn't that crazy? Like half of them are overseas. It's nuts. Ugh. Where do you live? Am I pronouncing that right? Is it Saida Lowell? Where do you live, Saida? No, I've had them before, Tim. I just, I complained to YouTube and they couldn't do anything. Oh, Chicago. Yeah, I lived in Chicago for like 13 years. What YouTube used to make you do, if you get a tip that someone was using your video, you'd have to fill out so much bullshit. It was just easier to let them keep using it. The original clip, and I had my stuff all mixed in thousands of videos that I didn't keep very good track of. So, and a lot of times I may splice them into like a little driving in the area before I met up with whoever I interviewed, just in a video like that. So it wasn't that easy, but now they've done all the hard work. You just got to click a few buttons, fill out a few sentences, swear that it's the truth, and fire it away. Yeah, they've let people get away with this up until now. It's the first time they've ever really approach me about doing anything about it. YouTube's a strange group of people. It's not just like do a good job, we're right behind you, let us know if we can help. It's really odd. That one guy, Daryl Eves, Eves, he just did a YouTube apocalypse. He's got like 5 successful channels. Look at his YouTube video I just put out about a week ago. YouTube apocalypse, he calls it. Yeah, I lived there. I used to go down the south side, over the west side. It never seemed as bad there as it did in Detroit to me, though. You don't have the blight with commercial buildings. The neighborhoods actually look better. If you look at the videos that I do in Detroit, CETA, I think it looks much worse. Whole blocks vacant, burned out buildings all over. Chicago wasn't like that. I mean, they have high crime areas and some poverty, but even Louisville isn't like Detroit either. Yeah, that's the way I look at it, Mark. I mean, really, if you were going to take YouTube seriously, you could spend all week fooling around with it. Yeah, Gary, Indiana. Yeah, even Gary's not that bad. I used to go down there and do a lot of photography, particularly around the railroad. And Gary has its problems, but it's not like Detroit. You get downtown much, Saida? Go downtown much? Yeah, Youngstown's not as bad as you think. I went down there a few times looking for photography, and it wasn't as good as I expected it to be. Yeah, Buffalo's got some bad areas. Louisville wasn't bad at all. Yeah, I lived. You know where the Dave and Buster's building is? So you're probably taking the old red line in, aren't you? Yeah, they did. They sure did. Oh, North and Clyburn, that's not bad. That's kind of a busy area. North and Clyburn's a good neighborhood. I'll tell you one thing, I don't miss that uh, traffic. No, the Dave and Buster's was on Clark and Maple, right on the corner of Clark and Maple, over near the Newberry Library. Oh, tired. No, that's what I think. Yep, Detroit's top on the list. Yeah, I believe it, Tim. No, you're right, Sita. I left there about 8 years ago. When I first moved to Chicago in '98, I can remember that Borders books on Michigan Avenue around Christmas. There'd be a two hour wait to check out. The Magnificent Mile is happening. There was a waiting list to rent space in the water tower. And by the time I left, it was already going downhill. Much more crime, uh, vacant buildings. The water tower had for a while there were 35% vacant. Borders books turned into a big crap house. All the high-end retailers left, and it was a bunch of junk, like bankruptcy sale type places. I agree with you. Losing its shine. Yeah, that was already heading south before I got out of there. And now, part of the reason it's losing its shine too is just global competition. And Amazon. Amazon has absolutely killed retail. And if you go down to Chicago to spend a weekend, before it was like before the internet and Amazon, these people could shop. They look forward to like a 2-day trip, stay in a nice hotel, eat out nice dinners. Now you can get everything over the internet. Why would they go down there and pay those crazy rates when they could get everything else online cheaper? It's taken the fun out of it, but it's made it more cost effective. But it's also led to the decline of Michigan Avenue. Yeah, that Manuel was trash. Yeah, Sears. See, I don't know how old you are. Did you go down to the old Borders Books when it was on there, when it was open on Michigan Avenue there, your water tower? And I'm curious if you've been in the water tower lately. I wonder how that store is hanging in there. That was heading south as well. California Pizza Kitchen went out of business there. Yeah, Manuel, he was total trouble. I don't even know what he's doing now. You had to give old Illinois, the old great state. Two of the last governors are in federal prison. Yeah, you're right, Mark. Yeah, is the water tower still nice, Theta? Is it still like a really like upper class place to go? They had the California Pizza Kitchen up there. It was on the top floor. It was second to the top floor. It used to do really well. And then they started letting those bullshit taco places, taco wagons, be open up on the bottom floor where, they had like 3 tables to sit down. And that absolutely killed the sit down restaurants. Yep, totally corrupt is right. Oh, okay. I don't know what's in that old Borders now, but I think it's some kind of like thrift bankruptcy sale bullshit. Yeah, okay. Borders Books was great. That Virgin Atlantic, you know, the airline, they had a big bookstore, record store there. That went out of business. Just tons of places. Yeah, I think that closed in 2011. Yeah, you're right, Mark. Yeah. Yeah, Chicago has great history. Huh? Sure does. Yeah, it closed in January of 2011. God, I can't believe that it's already gone. It's been that long. That place was such a happening place. 5 giant floors, including the basement. Yeah, it's all pumped in swampland. You're right. It's also why allergies are through the roof around there for most of the people that live there. The Borders brothers were from Ann Arbor, and they actually sold out to Kmart for 140 million before it was, went on to eventually go out of business under the auspices of someone else.
You
Yeah, Radio Shack. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I went to that Circuit City back in the day. That one down there on what was it? Chicago, West Chicago. Circuit City was great. Highland Appliance. Tim, Highland Appliance, you talking about? Man, I was thinking of my laptops back in the day, from the first one I got, and just how they've gotten cheaper and junkier and thinner. Maybe that's not true. I don't know. I'm coming from the old school that if it doesn't weigh 10 pounds, it must be a plastic piece of junk. Probably dating myself. I remember the first Sony I got. Sony got out of laptops because they couldn't make any money on them. Shit, I needed to wheel that thing around in a cart. Hey, you ever go down to that Apple computer store on Michigan Avenue, Saida? I remember when they first put that in. Yeah, I don't like Apple either. No. Hey, Saida, did you ever go over there around Rush and Cedar, where that big bull used to be? over near Gibson Steakhouse. Did you ever eat there at Big Bull? Was next to the corner bakery, right there in Cedar, crossing the Barnes and Noble kind of. It's 0 degrees here now. Yeah, I know they got rid of that Big Bull. I think they made that a hotel or something. I just wondered if you've been down around there. Yeah, okay. I'm just looking at my phone right now, and I see that the lease is expiring for that Lou Malnati's, and where that Barnes and Noble is up there on State Street, and they're gonna put it up for sale and level it and make more goddamn condominiums. That's gonna be one big condominium down there. There won't be anything else to do.
Station 6, station should be just fire alarm. It's going to be the outlet of WebCam, 2990 Cross 103.
I'm reading in this about this Barnes and Noble there, downtown, north of downtown, and it says that Barnes and Noble's leases the 2-story, 20,000 square foot building, and it can be canceled with 3 months' notice. The lease. Well, wouldn't that be fun, getting rid of all those books in that time? That building's not that old. Good night, Mark.
I don't see anything happen during, and a key holder will be like 10 minutes. And it will be dark, the black, the TV.
How long ago was that documentary done? Ugh. Oh, okay, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, that that McDonald's does like crazy numbers. The owner operator of that store has like 13 of them. Hey, no kidding, huh? It was doing crazy numbers for a while. There's a Spanish owner operator who owned that location, that ran that location. It's a corporate store, but she contracted to run it. And she had her own franchises in the suburbs. Yeah, I wonder if that's true or not. Yeah, they changed it from a rock and roll McDonald's to like a new state of the art environmental eco thing. Hey, Saida, did you know Harold Washington was a cross dresser? Did you know about that? Yeah, big time. If you Google it, you'll find out. When he died, they found all sorts of like pictures and photographs where he'd wear women's clothing in private. Yeah, Oscar De La Hoya, you're right. Yep. He'd have been better off if he'd have just admitted it, that he tried to bullshit his way out of it. That made it worse. You think so, Tim? Well, I think I'm about ready to hit the old bed. Jim, you want to stay on here? Saida, you want to keep on chatting? Yeah, J. Edgar Hoover as well, yeah. Yeah, you're right about that. Eddie Murphy likes transvestites. So does Jerome Bettis, who played for the Steelers. Both of those guys were busted and known transvestite parks twice. No, it sure doesn't. Yeah, so what? I don't care. I'm not hurting anybody. I wouldn't be into it, but all right, Tim. Oh, I'm gonna go to bed too. See, I think we're gonna go to bed. We're tired. You're certainly welcome to come back anytime. Good talking to you. Say hi to Chicago. I lived down there quite a while. It's a good experience. Catch you some other time. Appreciate it. Thank you. Good night, Sita. Good night, Tim. Hey, Superwoman. How you doing? Just getting ready to hit the old hay. Going to bed. Superwoman, good night. And whoever else is listening. I don't want to cut anybody off without saying good night. Good night. I think you're the only other one person listening. So good night. Talk to you later. Good night, Tim.